Chris from Muse, welcome to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Cool, thank you.
In the coolest band in the world, how does that feel?
I don't know. I don't know if we're the coolest band in the world.
I'm telling you, you're in the coolest band in the world. How does that feel?
In that case, it's great.
And you've been in the coolest band in the world for a long, long, long time. Do you even remember what it was like before you were in the coolest band in the world?
Well, I remember the early days very well. Particularly the days before we got signed. It was kind of tough back then. I think particularly the part of the country that we were from. Being from Devon. There wasn't really any venues, there wasn't really any music scene, and no one was interested in us at all. So we were incredibly uncool at that point. And then I think even when we finally got signed and started going on tour, we'd pick up tours with other bigger bands, and I think it took a while before people took notice of us and what we were doing. But I guess that's the same for most bands, and I think sometimes that's a better way to go, really, to build it up gradually. Sometimes you see some bands who have huge, great success off one album or one single, and it seems to die away fairly quickly. Whereas with us, I think it was a lot of hard work to get to where we were. How do you define a successful show? It's difficult, really. I mean, to me, it's always about the crowd, really. It's if you look out and the crowd are having a good time and they're jumping up and down and they've got smiles on their faces, then it's a good show. There are some shows where we've not played particularly well, but the crowd have been amazing, and that's all that really matters. One of the things I love about watching you guys play live is the comfortability, whether it's an arena show or a stadium or a festival setting where you're playing in front of 250,000 people. You guys ooze confidence every single second you're on stage. When's the last time you felt uncomfortable in a situation, except for now? I think the first show that we did for this album, because I had to sing lead vocal for the first time, and that was pretty terrifying. It was weird because I'd obviously done it in the studio, and I was sort of getting into the idea of being a singer for a couple of songs, and then once we actually got to that moment in the set, I just went to pieces. I think Matt said something over the mic about me singing something, and all of a sudden the legs just went, just started shaking, and went to start singing, and it sounded more like I was yodeling than singing. It was pretty horrific, but I'd never been that nervous on stage in my life. And then, of course, the next gig I was even more nervous because I screwed it up the first time, but it was all right in the end. I think after 2 or 3 goes it was fine, but that was definitely the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done. A big part of the Muse show too is the visual impact of the staging, the light show. Collectively, do you all have input on how that looks in the end game when you're on stage? Yeah, totally. It's between us and our lighting guy, who's been with us pretty much from the start. He's really good with ideas like that, and our friend Tom, who tours with us, he does a lot of the visual stuff. The stuff that you see on the screens, and obviously the live camera editing. He puts all that together. So it's pretty much in-house, yeah. A lot of the movies type stuff you might see, some of that will outsource to people, but generally with direction from us as to what kind of thing we're looking for. So yeah, we try and keep it within ourselves as much as possible. As you guys continue with the North American tour, Coachella, a big festival in North America, was announced just last week. More festivals to be announced. Nothing so far on your calendar. Can you tell us if you're playing any North American festivals this year? I don't think so. I don't think this year. Possibly next year. But after we finish this tour, which I think is the end of April, we're going to go back to Europe, and we're doing a stadium tour throughout Europe. I think we're coming back to North America in August. There may be one.